Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for January 26th. January 26th is the 26th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 339 days remaining to the end of the year, unless it's a leap year, in which case there are 340 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is quiescent. Quiescent is an adjective that means marked by inactivity or repose, tranquilly at rest, causing no trouble or symptoms. Quiescent can mean quiet for the moment, a temporary cessation of activity, as when a disease is quiescent, or a quiescent volcano. The word quiescent comes to us from Latin, where it meant to fall asleep, rest, or be quiet, and originally from an Indo-European root word that meant have a rest. First known use of the word quiescent is in 1608, quiescent. Quiescent was suggested for Word of the Day by YouTube viewer at Ginger Rush 7536. Thanks, Ginger. And remember, if you have a word you'd like us to explore in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, religion of some sort or another has been around in a variety of forms since the dawn of humanity. The first known use of the term Christianity appears in about the year 100 AD, and the first known use of the phrase Catholic Church is about 10 years later in 110 AD. The word Catholic comes from a Greek word that meant universal. The Catholic Church went on and developed in its way, and in the 1500s, Martin Luther gets credit for protesting several tenets of Catholic doctrine and initiating the Protestant Reformation. We've mentioned some of the things that have happened because of these differences. Periodically, then, church leaders would convene with each other to consider and clarify points of order, administration, and doctrine. These gatherings were called councils, often named after the place where the meeting took place, like the Council of Ephesus, the Council of Chalcedon, the Council of Nicaea. So on January 26, 1564, the Council of Trent established a distinction between Roman Catholicism and Protestantism. Michigan was admitted as the 26th U.S. state on January 26, 1837. Interesting that it's the 26th state admitted on the 26th. Michigan is the 10th largest by population, 11th largest by area, and interestingly, the largest by area east of the Mississippi. Bet you never thought about that before. While Detroit is the largest city in Michigan, Lansing is its capital. Michigan's nicknames include the Great Lakes State, the Wolverine State, Water Winter Wonderland, and let's not forget the Mitten State. Michigan's state bird is the American robin, the state animal is the wolverine, the state tree is the white pine, the flower is the apple blossom, and they also have a state wildflower, the dwarf lake iris, which is a federally listed threatened species. 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford, considered Michigan his home state, and you can find the Gerald R. Ford Museum in Grand Rapids and the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Happy Statehood Day, Michigan. This is the birthday of the late great actor Paul Newman, born January 26, 1925. He was in a lot of movies over the course of his acting career. One of my faves is Cool Hand Luke. Paul Newman is also known as the director, activist, and businessman and co-founder of Newman's Own brand, which you can still find in your grocery stores today. Paul died in 2008 at the age of 83. This is the birthday of Eddie Van Halen, born January 26, 1955. Did you know he was Dutch? Born in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Eddie Van Halen got his first guitar as a child. He and his brother Alex formed the rock group Van Halen in 1972. Rolling Stone magazine have Eddie Van Halen as the fourth greatest guitarist on their list of 250 greatest guitarists of all time. The band Van Halen was opening for a bigger group in 1976, and Gene Simmons from the group Kiss was there. He was sufficiently impressed with what he heard that he came to meet them backstage and give them some career-changing advice. Eddie also liked to tinker with his guitars and was buried with one of his parts casters. Eddie Van Halen, like so many others, did struggle with drug and alcohol problems, but he got sober in 2008. He had plenty of other serious health issues, though, and passed away in 2020 at the age of 65. Eddie Van Halen. Quite a mix of subjects today, isn't it? If you're curious, though, about what else I might have talked about for January 26 in a previous year, I'll leave a link for you. Today's song is a short instrumental, minute and 42 seconds of fast hard rock guitar playing featuring a technique known as tapping that Eddie Van Halen liked to use. Eruption really just started out as a guitar solo that Eddie would play in live performances, and he hadn't considered putting it on a record. But the record producer, Ted Templeton, heard Eddie playing it one day during a rehearsal and decided to add it to the self-titled album Van Halen. Eruption by Van Halen. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, check out the playlist that contains these videos, and I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again and all. See you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. John, are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. We got to make that be quiet. You got to read the black part. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for... Oh, where's your microphone? Okay, we don't want to say the same thing twice. Oh, get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. Okay, we are still recording. That's great. Okay. How about that? We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. Okay, stop it. It's 8 o'clock. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.